This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Hello, NBA fans, and welcome back to the Fast Break Podcast. My name is Ricky Widmer, and as always, for the Fast Break, I'm joined by Dave Oster.
Hey there.
And this week, second episode, we're back for consecutive weeks, so we're on the right path.
Technically
three, but this week we got to talk about last time was the LaMarcus Aldridge. We mentioned DeAndre Jordan was going to the Mavericks. Oh, wait, was he really? Because we're going to talk basically DeAndre Jordan right off the bat. Kind of pulled a little pump fake when it came to the Dallas Mavericks because he said, oh yeah, I'm coming to Dallas. It's okay, Mark. It's okay, Chandler. Then Doc Rivers, Paul Pierce, JJ Redick swoop in and go, hey man, you want to come back to LA, don't you? And he goes right back to LA.
Absolutely. It was an interesting move. I think it's one of the first notable times that we've seen a verbal agreement break. And I mean, that's one of the interesting things about this is, you're unable to sign that contract for, I guess until that point in time. So technically it's like, yeah, I'll totally play for your team, but nothing's in writing, nothing's guaranteed. You just have to take my word for it that I'm not looking at other teams, that they're not offering me more money and I'm maybe reconsidering this deal. So it's weird because in the past, verbal word, yeah, that's it. We're good. You don't worry about it. But this kind of changed things.
Well, I just kind of feel the way I kind of view it is the first thing I thought of as soon as it happened, me being a college guy, I was like, oh, this doesn't surprise me because you look at high school recruits, how many of them have been like, yeah, you know what, Nick Saban, I want to play for you. Then as we get closer and closer to the signing day, they flip and say, well, you know what, I'm going to go play for Florida State. Nothing matters until that ink hits the paper. Right. But how this all went down was just the most bizarre thing because Cuban came out, I want to say it was Wednesday or something, on his own, I think it's like Cyberdust or something, his own messaging app. And he just flat out gave the entire story. Said, yeah, you know what? I texted DeAndre like, hey, what's going on? He flew down to Houston, went to DeAndre's house, was like, hey, man, I'm here. Let's talk. DeAndre's like, hey, I'm on a date. Then ignores Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban basically says, hey, you know what, man? You do you. I'm at my hotel if you need me. Because Mark Cuban right now, it kind of felt like the girlfriend that's like, leave me alone. He's like, whatever. I'm fucking Mark Cuban.
Yep.
I'm me. I don't need you. You need me more than I need you. But on the other side with Doc Rivers and everyone, they need DeAndre Jordan to come back if they want to be viable.
Because his best buddy Blake Griffin, holding them hostage in his own house.
Well, if he goes to, think of this, if he goes to Dallas, besides the Warriors, we'll put the Warriors up there because they're defending NBA champions. Besides them, the two big players, and then Dallas and San Antonio because of the huge offseason San Antonio
and OKC
had.
Still technically.
And, OKC, we got to see. It was Durant being injured. That's why they were so sluggish. But it kind of pushes Dallas ahead of LA.
Let's not forget, this Dallas team was doing extremely well last season before Rondo imploded. They were a team bound for the playoffs, bound for a high seed, and then just, personalities clashed. He was the wrong fit for that organization, and they just really missed out on
Rick Carlisle
a great
also
chance.
saying, hey, you know what, I'm not going to put up with this shit.
Exactly.
And had to deal with Rondo as a head coach.
Exactly. So, I mean, this team was in the works of reloading, getting another good big for down low. And you know what? I think they definitely had a great shot, but then, gets called back home.
See,
what are you going to do?
Well, I mean, it doesn't. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm on two sides of this.
Okay.
Because part of me understands I'm not quite sure. And I kind of want to go home.
He was riding the fence.
I have it I have LA in my heart, which is fine. You can feel that.
Yep.
However, I'm the kind of guy where first off, if you're going to give a team a verbal,
Yep.
you should probably stick by that verbal. But let's say you're not, because there are some circumstances where you're like, you know what? I thought this was right for me. It's not. There was a question that J.J. Redick was asked on a podcast on Grantland on ESPN. And the question was simple. Did DeAndre Jordan, owe the Mavericks a phone call? My answer to that, yes. You deserve to call Mark Cuban and just talk it out. Say, hey, this is what's going on.
Be professional.
I'm being a man here.
Exactly.
I'm not being a little punk ass bitch.
That would be my expectation of a professional athlete in today's day and age. I feel like this was a slap in the face almost to the organization, to Cuban.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sign of immaturity.
Chandler Parsons, because he helped recruit him.
He was huge on the recruiting process.
He even came out and, like, I know it was a joke tweet, but you can tell his kind of side of it where he just tweeted out the joke, man, I thought I had a good pump fake.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody thought, it was a done deal. And then we find out that DeAndre Jordan having a sleepover with his pals. And, they're not letting him leave the house until he signs the contract.
Yeah, Blake Griffin, he tweeted out a photo where
the chair is up against the door.
Against the door where he was like, well, not my decorating taste, but who am I to talk? It's like, really?
Exactly. It's
really?
Ridiculous.
It all sparked the emoji battle that they were talking about on ESPN with, like, Chris Paul taking a boat because he was chilling with LeBron and D Wade in, like, Cancun or something. And because you had Blake, Paul Pierce was in on it.
Yep.
JJ Redick said he drove from LA to Houston to be in on it. And I get it. The Clippers, you want to make a push at DeAndre Jordan, but I feel just on DeAndre, first off, if you're going to have this meeting with the Clippers, be honest with Dallas. Just be like, hey, man, this is what's up. This is what's going on. This is what I've decided to do, because now and I mean, it doesn't really matter in a sense, because DeAndre's going to go back to LA. Everyone in Clip Nation, Lob City, they love him.
They do.
Dallas, it doesn't matter if you hate me because I never played for you, kind of a thing.
Exactly. And you know what? It's strange the way it worked out, because he wasn't leaving the Clippers because of, any bad issues between him and the organization.
He just
thought it was purely money.
Yeah.
And, they came around like, you know what? We can do what you need. We changed our minds. You're suddenly worth more to us now. And I'm like, wow. I mean, that's awesome. They turned around and they decided, you know what? He's our franchise guy. Let's move forward with him. But on the other hand, it's like, really, it took somebody else willing to pay me more for you guys to actually respect me as a player.
Mm-hmm. And now one of the big things is, and I don't know personally if this would have happened if DeAndre Jordan stays with Dallas. But now Dallas moving forward, the big question was, what do you do?
How do you come back from that?
Where do you go? And it seems like all signs, nothing's official. And I know Dallas fans are going, well, Ricky, don't even talk about it because it's not official. But it seems that Darren Williams, ex-Illinois point guard, says that he is going to sign a 2-year deal with the Mavericks as soon as he clears his waiving process from being waived by the Nets.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. It's not amazing. This is not Darren Williams of 6 years ago. This is an aging point guard who still has a great handle for the ball, can put up some points, but great vision on the court. He'll help your team going forward. He'll be that point guard that you needed last year that you were looking for Rondo to be. Mm-hmm. But, it still doesn't really answer it. So,
because it looks like he's going to take if he clears waivers through the buyout, he'll sign a 2-year contract worth $10 million, so $5 a year.
Yeah, and that's
with the Mavericks.
That's like nothing.
And the one thing I'm thinking, though, and this kind of me back of the head, if you're a different NBA team that may need a point guard, do you go with the kind of dick move and say, hey, you know what? We're just going to claim him off of waivers?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the process, it does.
Because he's got to clear waivers before he can sign with the Mavericks.
Really?
Yeah, it says he's got to clear waivers. So if I'm an NBA team and I don't want him to go to Dallas and I need a point guard, why not just say, nope, he's mine?
Yeah, because then you have to deal with. Well, then you have to deal with somebody who is probably a pain in the ass. Not quite as bad as Rondo.
You probably have to deal with his contract too.
Yeah,
his current one.
Yeah, which is not favorable.
A lot more than $5 million a year. But
absolutely,
it seems like Dallas is moving, or trying to move in a positive step after losing DeAndre Jordan.
Exactly, it's rough. I mean, you just got your hopes, raised up and then just dropped. Just dropped.
I'm trying to think, like you said, I'm trying to think of free agents where this had happened. And the only thing I can come close to where it's not exactly the same situation, but it's similar, the decision of LeBron James, where Cleveland was like, no, he's going to stay. And then he takes his talents to South Beach.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't give any sway
verbally
prior.
commit.
It was just, you know what, guys? I'm going to take my, I was about to say I'm going to take my talents to South Beach there. God, I hate that.
I'm going to take my talents.
He's going to take his time and consider all of his options. He never actually came out and said, I'm
DeAndre Jordan didn't do that. He said, boom, money, Dallas. Yep. And I was like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have done that.
Maybe that wouldn't be the best move for me career-wise. You know what? I know what did it. They told DeAndre that Doc's son was coming back. Austin Rivers was going to re-sign. So like, all right, if Austin's coming back, then I'm coming back.
He did re-sign.
Yeah.
He did resign. And I mean, the Nets, we talk about them. We talk about them getting rid of Williams. They're deciding to keep Joe Johnson. They swoop in front of the Kings and sign Andrea Bargnani.
Yep.
Is this we got to try to do something because we don't have draft picks for the next 2 years?
It really is. I feel like that is a franchise that has been screwed over by someone who didn't really have a vision for his team and honestly just ruined things.
Tried to play NBA 2K in real life.
Yeah. I mean, you took a bunch of aging talent and you thought you were good enough to take down, one of the best superstars of his generation in the East. So, yeah, no, you kind of screwed that up a bit.
So we got to move to this. This is more of the young gun story. And this, I believe, just broke today that Joel Embiid, young center for the 76ers, is going to have another foot injury. He's likely going to be out all of this season.
Guess what, Sixers fans? Next year.
Another tank.
Another year of next year.
Have the Sixers become the Cubs of the NBA now?
No, because they're not lovable.
Well, besides, okay, I'm talking about with there's always next year.
Yeah, no, they really are.
There's always next year.
They are as close to that as possible. This is a team that
But you can still win with Okafor.
Oh, they could.
Maybe this is why they drafted Okafor, because they kind of had an inkling that,
Embiid wouldn't be the answer.
I mean, come on.
They literally just drafted anyone over the height of 6'10" in the past year, so I'm a little concerned about it because
like if Okafor wasn't there, they may have taken Porzingis.
Exactly. But here's the thing. This is a team that has a bunch of bigs. They're not short on bigs. Embiid was the most talented, most potential.
He was the 5. He was the main 5.
Exactly. So now they're left with, some options. But to be fair, Okafor, he's got talent. He can grow a lot in this year without Embiid out there. I feel like Embiid kind of would have been a crutch to him on the defensive end. But you know what? It'll be okay because he's still got Nerlens Noel to back him up down there. I feel like they've got a decent, I don't say decent. They've got a very high potential front, and it's just a question of what direction do they want to go at this point. They could tank again, and there's no saying that they won't. This GM is known for doing whatever he thinks is best to make his team win.
# trust in the process.
Absolutely, you trust in that process. If it's going to get you every, first or second pick in the draft for the last 3 years.
And right now, this is looking at ESPN's depth chart for next season. This is right now the starting 5 that we would look at. At the point guard, you got Corey Wharton. Then at the 2, Robert Covington, Jeremy Grant, Nerlens Noel, Jahlil Okafor.
Yeah, they really need to get some guards. Let's be fair.
Besides that, they've got Hollis Thompson. They got Stauskas.
Oh,
who used to be with the Kings.
So much potential there. Stauskas, God, he's.
This is not a team I look at and go, you're going to be the playoffs.
They're going to win 17 games.
Here's a better question.
Yeah.
Does this remind you, or can you make the comparison of Embiid now to Greg Oden? Except it's a foot, not a knee.
I mean, it's starting to go down that line, unfortunately, and that's the sad thing.
Because the one thing I think of is when you hear interviews of Bill Walton talk, he was supposed to be one of he should have been a better player than he was, and he was still a good player, but what crippled him and made him end his career so soon was his foot troubles. When you're a big man,
think about this.
You need your knees. Yep. You need your feet.
Second overall pick a couple years ago, and you know what? Injury, and then just can't live up to it after that injury. So you've got to be worried.
I would be super worried if I'm a Sixer, to the point where the articles that I have seen, was Embiid the right pick? That's where
the redraft. I hate when they do redrafts, but I love them.
Not the redraft.
Oh, okay.
Just the point of look back to last year's draft. Was he the right pick? And I mean, I know hindsight is 2020, but we knew he could have injury problems when he was drafted. So why not go with like a power forward? Aaron Gordon, Julius Randle was a power forward. Noah Vonleh at the time. I mean, it was a 3rd overall pick, and
let's be fair, none of those actually, lit it up last year. They all had solid.
Vonleh just got traded before the draft to make room for the Hornets, and to that question, I don't know I really do not know if it's the wrong pick, because I think the Sixers for the past 2 years in the draft, available. Well, they've been in the same situation. Think 2014. Wiggins goes, Parker goes.
Yep.
Who are we going to take? Dante Exum? We're going to take Marcus Smart? No, we're going to go big guy Joel Embiid, best guy on the board.
Absolutely.
This year, everyone thought I thought they were going to get D'Angelo Russell. I'm like, cool. Yep. The front court guy to support the big guy. D'Angelo Russell went. Okay, we're going to take the guy that could have went number 1, because really there's 2 to 3 guys in this year's draft.
Yeah, that could have
went number 1. Let's take him at number 3.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad practice of drafting best available talent, but when you have a team now that not only are your current team stacked as big heavy, but your long-term prospects overseas are also, you just drafted every big. That's not a strategy, I feel. They need to go find talent. They need to go find a guard who can run this offense. I don't think he's on their team right now unless we see some massive progression on a couple of fronts. But no, I think they have to tank again.
Do you think?
I don't even think it's a have to tank. I think they're going to tank again because
just to do it,
they don't have enough talent to win more than 20 games. It's the NBA. They're under 20 wins. That's done.
I'm going to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Let's say Embiid has the surgery. It goes well. He comes back and will play next season.
Yeah.
How good of a season do you think we can see Embiid
being
play
off
when
the
he comes
court
back?
for 3 years almost? That's crazy.
Because he missed some time in college.
Exactly. So, no, that's... You have to feel for him because he's going to have the expectations of the world on him, or of Philadelphia at least. But, he's got to come back at his own pace and do what he can. I don't think he'll be better than Nerlens Noel by that point. I think it'll take him probably 2 months into the season to get to that point where he's actually a solid contributor. The good thing for him is it's a very poor team right now. So it's very easy to make yourself stand out, a la Michael Carter-Williams, who went, Rookie of the Year. When you're the best player on the worst team, it's very easy to shine. It's because you get the opportunity. You get all the touches. You get the shots. You are, the go-to guy. So he'll have the opportunity when his time comes. It's just the question of, is it ever going to? Maybe it's just not going to happen for him. And that's an awful thing to say, but let's be honest. If you go down 2 years in a row, year 3 comes up, if something happens to him next year, who's going to pick that up? Contract wise, nobody wants him. The two just names that come to mind when I think about this injury and Joel Embiid right now, Greg Oden, and Andrew Bynum. Bynum, yeah. Wow.
Bynum was another guy who had
but Bynum was a guy who was at the top of the game. He was the best center in the NBA, and then all of a sudden
came over to the Sixers.
Well, yeah, sure.
And that's when everything hit the fan.
It hit the fan a little before then, but it's just some guys can't come back from it.
I'm going to throw this out there, this little tease into our kind of next story that we were going to talk about here on the podcast. There is a certain center that people are talking about in the Western Conference that could be traded.
Yep.
His name's DeMarcus Cousins.
Yep.
Vlade Divac, vice president of the Kings, is saying, you know what, I'll admit that the relationship between Cousins and head coach George Karl isn't the best.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get everyone on the same page. Before we talk about that in depth, I just want to throw this out. 76ers, do you make a push for a DeMarcus Cousins trade?
What are they going to give him? The rights to Embiid, 3 other centers from Europe, and a first-round pick?
We're
going to give you 4 potential centers for DeMarcus Cousins.
Can you imagine having Cousins at the 4, Okafor at the 5.
Yeah, but then what do you do with Nerlens? You gonna trade Nerlens?
I feel you would have to either give up Okafor or Nerlens to get Cousins. You would have to, right?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, not going to happen. Just, I thought, fantasy situation.
That'd be a bit crazy
to throw out there. But
what's the point? Why would you pull Cousins into that team? He's still younger, but he's not
he's
young
not as
enough.
young as Nerlens.
He's not young enough for the 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be fair. He's like that guy who's like, you know what? We need that piece to knock us over the top. We're a 7 seed right now, and we need to go for a championship run. Let's go ahead and pull in.
That's more of George Karl wants Ty Lawson.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a hang up on his old buddies.
See, and I see this, and I just read the comments of, well, yeah, it's not pretty right now, or we're trying to get everyone on the same page. And the first thing I think of is I go, Vlade, sit down, listen to me. You're saying this.
You're telling Vlade to sit down. Okay,
yeah, sit down, listen to me. You're saying this stuff. Why the fuck didn't you let George Karl trade him on draft night or before the draft? Because shit like this, look at Dallas with Rondo. It doesn't work.
Yep. When you have a head coach who doesn't like a player, you have a major problem.
Stan Van on any team he's been on.
I love Stan Van. You take it back.
But some players don't like Stan Van or like LeBron and Blatt.
Yeah, there's no respect there.
Or did Dwight Howard have a problem? Well, yeah, it was Stan Van. That was Stan Van. Dwight and Stan Van.
Yeah.
But no, Dwight Howard and when he was in L.A. With Dan Antoni.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
Or was it Kobe and Dan Antoni? I know Dan Antoni in L.A. clashed with a player,
honest.
too.
Dwight having to use effort and play seriously was a problem for him.
Except when he plays for Kevin McHale.
Kevin McHale, he'll try hard.
Yeah, but I mean... Usually when you have a player and a coach that clash, things don't get done.
Honestly, I'm surprised George Karl's still employed. You come out and you make a statement like that, I figured, that's their third head coach in a year. Why not? Because George Karl is brought there because of his pedigree, his history of, being able to work with franchises and working with talent, putting them together with the right pieces around them and keeping things competitive. But to be fair, like if you come in and day one, you're like, my superstar? Nah, fuck him. I don't like him. He's not,
bad attitude.
He's not the guy I want on my team. He's not who I want playing. We have a problem here.
Mm-hmm.
You either, let's see. As a franchise, we want to keep the 27-year-old superstar. Is he 27?
DeMarcus?
Yeah.
I'll look it up for you.
Okay. Do we want to keep our young superstar who could be a franchise pinnacle point? Just maybe him, or do we want to keep the old man coach who, let's be honest, coaches in this
24.
League? Oh, he's only 24.
He's 24.
Wow, I thought he was older than that. He's been
born
in the league a long time.
August 13th, 1990.
He's been in the league a while, though. But no, I mean, that's the thing. It's where do you want to start? And
5 seasons.
Yeah, he got in young. But do you want to go with your head coach, or do you want to go with, the guy who's going to be a franchise guy?
However, though, you say that 5 years, what have you done for me lately? Just throwing it out there.
Have you seen his numbers? He's the best center in the NBA.
How many playoffs have you been to?
He's the best center in the NBA right now.
And I know
Can you top that?
And I know that
he's better than Dwight Howard.
Just let me
He's the best center in the NBA. You can't knock a chip off him.
Let me make my point, Dave. Sit down. And what I was going to say before Dave was cutting me off was, and the Kings are trying to do what you're saying, add around him, drafting Willie Cauley-Stein to play the 4 to his 5. They have Rudy Gay, Caron Butler, Ben McLemore that they got last season, Darren Collison. There's just, to me, you have a nice starting 5 that it's decent in Collison, McLemore, Gay, Cauley-Stein, Cousins. Depth. That's what you need to go for right now. Are they there this year? No. Next year in the draft? Yes.
I feel Cauley-Stein's also a 5, not a 4.
Well, they have him at the 5. They've got DeMarcus at the 5. Or they've got Cauley-Stein at the 4. They're interchangeable. They can play. It's big men.
DeMarcus doesn't want to play center. That was the whole thing.
Yeah, well, then
he's
switch
like, screw
him.
that.
Then
Plus,
switch him.
Cauley-Stein has no outside game. He doesn't. So
I'm just saying it how ESPN had him listed. You can switch them. They're big men. I'm
just saying that that was. I remember DeMarcus coming out and being like, "I don't want to go to the Lakers because they'd make me be a center."
And I don't want to be a center, but you get to play with Kobe and possibly win a ring.
Yeah, I mean, there's always aging Kobe.
Roy Hibbert.
I would hold it on the ring conversation, but
Roy Hibbert goes, sign me up for that one.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit too.
But no, I think that it's the wrong move for them if they were to get rid of him. But you know what? If they want to pick George Karl and have his back, one way or the other, they have to pick because playing nice with both sides, you're gonna end up with an explosion midseason out of frustration. You're gonna see some yelling on the court. You're going to see a lot of angry people, and the locker room's going to choose on their own, too. They're going to split.
Do we see
keeping them together
Do
is
we
the
see a
wrong idea.
Latrell Sprewell choking?
No one's going to get choked out. Jesus Christ, man.
I'm going with George Karl. If I was Divac, I'm picking Karl instead of Cousins, and here's why. It's very simple. I know what you're saying about
how many titles have you won me, George Karl?
Wait. How many times?
Where's George Karl's titles?
Wait, let me speak. How many times has DeMarcus Cousins been to the playoffs? Just answer.
2? I know it was this past year, but I don't know. I know it's 1987, 88. I don't know.
For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons, consecutive playoff appearances.
And what have you done
then
for me
lately?
lately?
Missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 playoff appearances. Missed because he came to Sacramento.
Yeah, but out of all those teams, who has actually had a chance of winning a championship? Out of
Seattle went to the 95 finals, lost to
so we're
Jordan.
talking 20 years ago now.
Yeah, no,
we're
I
talking
know.
20 years ago. This guy was a good coach.
Hey, all I'm saying is...
I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm just saying he hasn't won a championship either.
But no,
and he hasn't put together a team that can win a championship.
Wait, whoa. Let's not say championship and king. For the Kings, let's make the playoffs. Let's focus on that first. And what I think Karl can do is get you... He's an older guy. You give him the reins, he gets you to that spot where we have a team that can make the playoffs. By the time I'm old enough, I have to leave. Next guy comes in, leads you to the promised land, Steve Kerr style.
I just don't buy it.
Because what has DeMarcus Cousins done for you lately? That's what I'm saying.
He's been the best center in the NBA.
But how many playoff appearances has that gotten you? That's what I'm saying.
Again, centers can't win you championships.
I'm not saying winning a championship.
No,
I'm saying
that's what you're saying.
I'm just saying make the playoffs.
No.
I'm not talking anywhere near the NBA Finals, Dave. I'm saying just make the stupid playoffs.
Impact of a center is so much less than the impact of a guard, and that's what I'm saying. You can't count on a center to carry your team to the playoffs. When's the last center who carried a team to the playoffs? That would have been Dwight Howard in Orlando in like 2000.
I guess he did have Jameer Nelson though.
Yeah, well, you was stand in the middle and watch her 3-point shooter shoot.
I'm not saying it's all on Cousins, but at the same time, I mean, if you're going to name a guy the superstar, you're going to put most of the load on him.
Yeah, and that's
because
fine.
He is your superstar. That's what I'm saying.
But in today's NBA, you need a guard. Have a big.
You need a guard.
You need
in the
a
West.
guard.
We talked about this last week.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't be like, hey man, it's your job to get us to the playoffs. Well, one man can't do it when he's a big. You can do it when you have the ball in your hand every single play, bringing the ball up court. But when you're down low,
you can do things to make your team better, though. And with me,
he's the best big in the league.
Wait. If I'm DeMarcus Cousins, George Karl comes in, I'm saying to myself, you know what, whatever, put everything behind me. I want to work with this guy because if we don't work together, nothing matters. We're not going to make the playoffs. We're not going to even win a championship because Dave likes to throw that around. I'm just talking about making the goddamn playoffs.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, again, NBA purgatory again. Sorry. But no, my thing is, it just comes down to if you're the best center in the league and you can't even drag your sorry-ass team to the playoffs, what does that say about the rest of your team?
Talking about George Karl?
I'm talking about DeMarcus Cousins.
Okay.
Because George Karl's not center.
Okay, but the team's not good. We get that.
No, that's my point. Is if you're the best in the league at your position and you can't even drag your team into the playoffs, that says more about the team around you than it does about you. He's putting up superstar numbers.
But here's the thing, and I'm going to throw this out there. If I'm George Karl and I'm Vlade Divac looking at that, George Karl wants to trade Cousins for a position that can help you.
He didn't say that,
Impact.
though. He didn't say he's looking for a guard.
The trade that was in place before Divac said no had DeMarcus Cousins going to Denver, Ty Lawson coming to Sacramento. You get your guard. You get a guard that's familiar with Karl.
Yep.
But it's all because Vlade Divac wanted, no, we can't get rid of DeMarcus Cousins because he's the face of the franchise.
Do you think Ty Lawson can
He can get you to the playoffs. Look at what him and George Karl did. Yeah, okay. I will say, and you haven't pulled this up because you don't have a computer in front of you.
Yeah.
I will say, devil's advocate to myself, out of that streak from when he was in Milwaukee at the 2001 to when he missed the playoffs this last year with Sacramento, there were a ton of first-round
First and outs. Yeah,
with
I
the
thought so.
2008-9 season being the conference finals year for the Nuggets, where they lost in the conference finals. But I think George Karl and Ty Lawson could at least get you to the playoffs if you're the Kings. They can get you there, and then you can say next year, okay, let's build the pieces to get beyond that. Because with the Kings, you got to get there first. To me, you haven't had a great team. Well, not even a great team. Let's say you haven't had a relevant team since Mike Bibby lost to the Lakers in the conference finals.
That's taking it back.
That's taking it far back.
Yeah. Well, it's not as far back as, George Karl's first playoff appearance, but still, it's pretty far back.
It's a little bit before. It's in the same time period.
You're referencing 1995 games here, and I'm just checking you on that.
That was the last time he went to the final, but he's been a consistent playoff coach wherever he's been.
Yep.
Seattle, Milwaukee,
and that worked out great for
Denver.
Tom Thibodeau, too.
What, for Thibodeau?
Consistent playoff coach.
He was gone.
Yep.
But I'm saying right now, the Kings, you just hired the guy.
Yeah.
You just hired him. So let him get you to the playoffs.
They hired him because of his name.
It's kind of like if I hired a head coach and said, can't do this, can't do that. Okay, I'm handcuffed. What do you want me to do?
But that's the thing, is it's lack of leadership in the back room by Sacramento. That's all it is Vlade doesn't see the same as the other owner. He just doesn't have the same idea for what direction his team is taking. Obviously, if he felt that DeMarcus Cousins was the centerpiece of this team going forward, he would have talked to George Karl about that before hiring him. So either something changed in the interim, or he just total oversight and didn't check with George Karl. Like, so how do you plan on winning us, getting us into the playoffs? Like, well, I'm going to trade your best player, and then we'll just wing it from there. But it almost seems like that conversation didn't happen, which really curious thing.
And I'm looking right now, the last playoff appearance for the Kings was the 2005 2006 season, way before DeMarcus.
Honestly thought DeMarcus had taken him once.
The best that DeMarcus has done, his first year was the 10-11 season. They finished 14th in the West, followed by 14th in the West, followed by 13-13-13.
Nice. Consistency.
But the last time they lost to the Spurs in the first round in 6 games.
Yeah, no, it doesn't even matter anymore.
The last time they went past that was conference semifinals in 02-03, 03-04, and that Laker conference finals was 01-02.
There you go.
01. So that was when George Karl was just getting back to the playoffs.
There you go.
That was the last time, let's put it this way, that was the last time the Kings finished first in the West.
Oh, it's hard to compete in the West, to be fair.
Well, now it is. You need a guard, and that's what I'm saying. With Vlade Divac, you either got to pick Cousins or Karl. You're not going to be able to keep both of them around. That's what I think.
Probably not.
But we talked about this last year to kind of switch gears a little bit. Roy Hibbert. Last week it was Dave. He could go to L.A. Now he's in L.A. How does this help the Lakers?
They have a big.
That's it? They have a big? That's all they needed?
That's literally all they needed was a body down low that wasn't Jordan Hill.
That wasn't Jordan. Well,
it would be awkward to be like, hey, Jordan, we don't need you. And then 2 weeks later, after you find out you don't get a big in the draft, like, hey, Jordan, you want to come back? No, it's awkward. Hibbert, if he's even a shell of himself, he'll take up space down low. He'll still get you like 8 and 10 or something like that.
Because what kind of Kobe do you think we're going to see?
It depends. I mean, Kobe doesn't take kindly to the word tank, so he's going to jack up, shot after shot. It really depends how he feels when he comes back from his injury, though, because he's got young talent around him now. So if he wants to see them grow, he'll move the ball around more. We could see the Kobe where, out of spite, he passed the ball. Like, that was a thing for a while where he's like, yeah, I got 13 assists this game, 14 assists this game. It was like, Kobe's going for triple doubles this season because people are like, you're too selfish. He's like, oh, I'm too selfish. Let's see how my team does when he got
Luke Walton in the corner going, I'm open, guys.
And he passes him the ball instead of taking the shot. So he can do it. He's 100% capable of it. It's just on him deciding on where he wants to go with this team.
Well, and you talk about depth.
It's a serviceable 5. Depth is missing.
Well, you talk about, I would argue depth is not missing because I'm looking at the depth chart right now. According to ESPN,
okay,
the Lakers are 3 deep at the point guard, shooting guard, and center.
By 3 deep, though, read those names.
4 deep at the power forward, 2 deep at the small forward.
Read some of those names that are that deep.
Point guards, they got D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson, Dwight Buckless.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, no, okay, 2 deep.
So you got 2 there.
Then they got Kobe, Lou Williams, Jabari Brown.
Jabari Brown's gone.
Nick Young and Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown, they just drafted.
Yeah, I know. That's.
Then their power forwards: Brandon Bass, Julius Randle, Ryan Kelly, Larry Nance Jr.
They've got some hope there.
And then centers: Hibbert, Scares, and Black.
Yeah,
they got Hibbert.
So they've got some young guys.
Probably use Bass as a backup center, move Randall into the number 1.
They've got some room for young talent to grow. I mean, they're in a great position, and this is probably the best outcome they could have wished for before the NBA draft. That team was barren and looked like it would have some problems. Lou Williams pick up great offensive addition from the bench.
Because here's the starting lineup if we went off of the number 1s that ESPN has.
Yeah.
Your point guard's Russell.
Yep.
Your shooting guard's Kobe.
Yep.
Swaggy P's your small forward.
Good God.
Bass is your power forward. Hibbert your center. I'd switch Randall, put him over Brandon for the power forward.
Yeah, that'll probably be a battle going into the first week of the year.
So I would say Russell, Bryant, Swaggy P, Randall, and Hibbert are my starting 5 right now. Would you say, oh, dear God, Swaggy P, they didn't have to give him up in this Hibbert deal. They just said, hey, here's a second rounder, here's some cash. Yeah. Give me my big man. Give me my big man.
I think it's a great job by...
Did you want Swaggy P out of LA, though?
I don't know. I mean, like, there's that one part where you just can't look... It's like a car crash, in slow-mo. You can't look away, but man... Oh. Yeah. Swaggy P is hilarious. He's a great personality. He does some questionable things.
How does that mesh with Kobe? That's the thing.
You don't know. But the good news is, they've got, like I said, they've got the scoring off the bench with Lou Williams, which is something I feel like people maybe don't value as much, but that's huge because that means Swaggy P doesn't have to take all the shots. And then, between Randall, Clarkson, and Russell, you got young talent there. Nance Jr. even has potential. So they've got some young talent. I say let them run, and probably after 30 games, you'll see this team decide where they're going for the next year. It's
playoff team? You knew I was going to ask it when I put my hand out.
I know.
Stopped you dead in your tracks.
30 games into the season, they will tell you whether they're going to make a push for the playoffs or whether they're going to see how far this young talent can actually go.
Are they going to push to a playoffs anyways? Because Kobe's going to say it's my last ride. Ray Lewis style, let's do it.
Kobe can try, but tank commander and all.
Tank commander and all.
It's a question.
Last thing I want to throw out there.
Yeah.
Trailblazers offer Ernest Cantor $70 million deal. Enes Cantor. Thunder match it. What are your thoughts on this?
It's probably a good move by Thunder.
Is he worth 70? Is Cantor worth 70
let's
mil?
Be honest, these days, nobody's worth what they're being paid. It's just a matter of market inflation and as far as NBA contracts.
Look at LeBron's little contract before he gets that pay raise next year.
Exactly. But you know what the interesting thing about this is? They're all like, Enes Kanter can't play defense. He's so soft on that. He's one of the top rebounding offensive bigs. Great there. He can score. So he's similar to Greg Monroe, actually, and people aren't giving that. And he's 23? Maybe? He's young.
23, yep.
Yeah.
Was born in May of 92.
Wonderful.
Make you feel old, Dave.
It does. Kid's younger than I am. But no, I don't get how, Greg Monroe is a little soft on defense, but now he's up there with a Greek freak, so he's got the coverage.
And I know
Enes Kanter's got Serge Ibaka, and people are like, they're similar players. I'll give you the fact that Enes Kanter's a little skinnier than he is. He's a little more athletic than Greg Monroe.
6'11", 245 is what ESPN has
Yeah, Greg
down.
Monroe's a little bit more solid. But still, the similarities are there, and I feel like he's definitely worth it. You want to pay for that guy who can go 20 and 10 for you. That's him on a 36 minutes. He hasn't, when he got to play, he was impressive.
You know what I love?
He was hopeful, so.
You know what I do love? And I know it was only 26 compared to 49 when he played less games with the Thunder last year than Utah. However, he had about 4 more minutes per game in Oklahoma City.
What was that total minutes per game average?
It was
in Oklahoma City.
31 in Oklahoma,
Good.
27 in Utah. Here's the 3 stats I'm looking at.
Yep.
Field goal percentage went from 49% to 56.
Excellent.
His rebounds per game went from 7.8 to 11.
Yep.
And his points per game went from about 14 to 19.
Exactly. I mean, this is a guy who is a legitimate threat, and he makes his team so much better. So now they've got one of the best scorers in the league in Kevin Durant.
Add Durant back into it.
Healthy. You've got Russell Westbrook, who's freaking Superman over there with just.
Well,
I mean, his stat line is just ridiculous.
I'm glad you brought Russell Westbrook into
Russell
this because
Westbrook.
this season for me is going to be the most important season in Oklahoma City Thunder history.
It is.
Because depending on how you do, are you going to be able to keep Durant? And to me, if Durant splits, which unless you win an NBA title, there's that possibility that he could split. Even if you make the conference final, there's still a bigger chance.
Washington's a pretty attractive town for him.
If they win the finals, he stays for sure. But if Durant leaves, Westbrook's gone next season, the next year after. Because if Durant leaves, Westbrook leaves.
Although Westbrook then has his dream, and it's a team to himself. So you don't know.
I don't know if people, or I don't even know if the Thunder are thinking that, because look at what they did this year. They drafted Cameron Payne, backup point guard, who, hey, in a few years, if Westbrook leaves, maybe this kid can develop.
Westbrook is like the number 2 point guard in the NBA.
I know.
It's hard
It's not going to be the exact same, but it's, hey, we're maybe getting a replacement in a couple years if he leaves.
Yeah, no, I'm just going over the point of, we saw what happens when they think they don't need to pay somebody and they leave somewhere else, a la Harden.
Yeah, I was just going to say you're referencing James Harden.
So I think that at this point, they're going to throw as much money as possible in the direction of Westbrook and Durant here.
And this offseason, Cantor was the reason.
Exactly.
He's the example of that.
Yep. This is a guy who will definitely be a huge help. He helps their down low game. He's an outlet for points if, injuries happen. He's shown he can step in there, and Serge Ibaka's game just gets better because of it too.
Well, and I get why Portland was doing this. They lose LaMarcus Aldridge, like we talked about last week, to San Antonio, and they need a big guy. Yeah. So right now they're going to throw big money at
They've got it.
Anyone close.
That's a great thing.
Anyone close. They're just going to throw money at them. And the Thunder they took all 3 days to match this offer.
Yes, sir.
Because I bet you they were thinking, yeah, we want him back. But is he worth that much? And then someone probably said, well, look what happened with James Harden. Push the button.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to end up with just that sense of regret and being like, man, if we had a big still, we would have been able to make it this year.
Like I said, this season's going to be most important for Oklahoma.
This is going to be an awesome season for the West.
These 2 off seasons, next off season for the Thunder, Durant, Waiters, Steve Novak,
Waiters,
DJ Augustine, Perry Jones III. Those are your free agents.
They got a lot of money, a lot of options.
In 2017, Ibaka, Westbrook, Morrow, Collison, Adams, and Andre Robinson.
So basically their entire team is up in the next 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So and then it's their time to make it happen.
They have Mitch McGary in 18, and then Cantor, Payne, and Singler in 1920.
Their entire team is up in the next 2 years, pretty much. They're built to win now. I mean, all bets are off. This is a team where Westbrook can take over, Durant can take over. You can go down low now for additional points. You don't have to count on the... Oh, my God. I mean...
3 teams in the West to focus on.
Yeah.
Warriors, Spurs, Thunder.
Please.
That's it. Warriors, Spurs, Thunder. In the East, it's the Cavs. It's still the Cavs, no matter what they do.
You count the Rockets out at this point?
Well, I'm talking about I'm sorry. The Western Conference Finals is going to be Thunder, Warrior, because the Rockets can't beat the Spurs. Rockets can't beat the Warriors. They may be able to beat up the Thunder.
Yeah.
But I'd still give it to the Thunder.
Yep. And you don't see any issues coming out of the Grizzlies? Every year they're just like...
They're there.
Yep.
They're just there. And I mean, in the East, I almost want to say Miami's going to surprise people.
I think Miami's got potential.
But they're not going to be anywhere close to competing with the Cavs.
No, the Cavs are going to kick the crap out of everybody.
No one is. I mean, the Hawks maybe, depending on how they come back from
I don't even buy the
surprise year.
I think this year was like a one-off thing. It was a special occasion.
Everyone thought that was the thing when the Seahawks came out of nowhere with Pete Carroll when they started doing well.
Yeah, but how many seasons are you going to have like Kyle Korver shoot 60% from three-point? I mean, maybe I know he didn't shoot 60%.
Maybe it's a coach.
Yeah. No, I think if you combine...
Who I believe he was an assistant under Coach Pop, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I believe so.
So similar, if it has success in San Antonio, why wouldn't it have success in Atlanta?
Well, probably because he doesn't have,
He doesn't have Timmy D and LaMarcus Aldridge.
And, the point guards and the depth and he's missing some points, but he's trying. He's building off of the image of. Great for him. My whole thing is you could probably try to combine like Milwaukee and Chicago to make a team that could beat the Cavs. That's the best hope the East stands. Barring, somebody ripping off Kevin Love's arm again, looking at you. Let's see what we can do about that. Let's see what we can do about that, Boston.
But that is going to do it here for the Fast Break this week. I want to thank you guys for checking us out. Let us know down below what you think of anything that we talked today. You can follow myself on Twitter at Ricky Widmer. Dave is not on Twitter, but you can follow Most Valuable Podcast at Most Valuable Pod. If you click that like button, please, if you liked it. If you love the podcast, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you again for checking out this podcast. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.